Hello, buying his Bible again. We come to Ecclesiastes. What a book Ecclesiastes is. I think there was the part that grabbed me when I was a boy was that famous section that you come across, that everything in its season. This happens in season, that happens in its seasons. I try to understand that. Um, but the book itself is, oh, it's so downhearted in its mouth, as we used to say. It's not a happy book. Here's a man who's got everything but nothing. Here's a man who's achieved everything but feels he's not gained anything. He's a man who has the power of a king or the son of a king and has nothing. He's looked at life as the blowing of a whale. It's nothing. It's vanity. It's empty of substance. So what is the message of the book? The message of the book is that is true. If you give yourself to the world, you'll have everything but nothing. You'll do everything but gain nothing. You could be everything but a nobody. It has very little value. To thank God for leaders who are godly and good, but if you look at people, the values that you like, if you meet an actor or an actress who well known, or you meet somebody in business that's well known, or you meet somebody who's the editor of one of our national newspapers, of which I've had the privilege, then it's the quality of the person, not the position of the person, that you relate to. You don't relate to their position or their performance or their success. It's them. And if it's a good them, you relate to it. We don't put everybody in the same basket, so to speak. But please don't believe that the accumulation. Did you know there are more people who commit suicide who have an accumulation of things, and then children fight over, or people fight over their estate? That's an interesting truth, but it is true. Anyway, here's this one from Ecclesiastes, one of his observations, and a very truthful observation. All his observations are true, they're just not nice. And you're pleased that you don't belong to it. And if you do belong to it, you've got to try and undo it. When times are good, be happy. Oh, I love that. When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider, reflect. I think it was C.S. Lewis said that God speaks to us in our joys and shouts at us in our sorrows, or something like that. Consider. God has made the one as well as the other. We are treading on a difficult territory here when we say God has made the bad and God has made the good. And there's different ways in which you can look at this. I think the way that I looked at it, and I could be wrong, of course, but the way I looked at it, that God made the good, but he also made the good in the bad. He also was working in the bad times as well as the good times, the shouting, again back to C.S. Lewis. The bad times was to bring us back, and we could consider. Now, sometimes the times are so bad that at the time we can't consider. I've referred to my wife a few times, my first wife, because I want to know, I empathise with those of you who've lost loved ones, wherever you've lost them, or however you've lost them. And maybe in the bad times you don't hear it straight away, but you do hear it later. It does begin to make some sense, not total sense. I can't understand totally what God was doing, even though that was now 30 odd years ago. I don't understand why I've lived so long, and yet a person who was more godly and kind and considerate died so young. I can't understand that. But I can say to this, when times are good, be happy. When times are bad, consider. God has made the one, and God has made the other. Ecclesiastes for today. Whether the times are good or bad, the Lord be with you. Boy in his Bible. Ecclesiastes. See you soon.